Hey folks, welcome back. Pop Retro. Pop Retro 1 on Instagram. Pop Retro 1 on Twitter. Facebook.com/Pop Retro 1. That's where you can find me on Facebook. So, gosh, it's been about almost 10 days, and so I thought I better pop in here and do just a quick little video. And the good news about that is that, it's been less than 10 days, and it feels like I've been lazy getting these videos out. I've actually been busy with other things. Things always get in the way. But at least, I'm making my breaks from videos further apart. There are less days, I should say less apart. There are less days that I am taking in between videos if I have to take some videos off. So thought I'd pop in just real quick and share one of the few things that I have watched over the past 8 or 9 days, and that is the great Old Dracula. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen this, and I had never seen Old Dracula starring David Niven, but I enjoyed it. It's a fairly clever farce. I mean, it's stupid, and it's not a great movie in that stereotypical sense of what a great movie is. I air quote great movie. And so, your mileage will vary. But essentially, David Niven plays Dracula. And he's stuck in the present day. And this movie came out in 1974. So present day is 1974. He is trying to revive his bride from however many centuries ago. And so to do that, he needs the blood, of course, of several beautiful ladies. And so that he can perform this transfusion and bring his bride from all those years ago back to life. Now, what he does, it's funny because he's actually seen reading a Playboy magazine in his mansion, which he now rents out to tourists, or actually it's kind of like a, I don't know, what do you call it? A bed and breakfast, he invites people to give tours to what is Dracula's mansion, and a lot of people come and stay the night and take in all the sights and sounds of his mansion, which he has decked out. What they don't know, though, is that he really is Dracula. And so he invites a bunch of Playboy playmates into the castle. They stay the night, and in the middle of the night, somehow he's able to get a transfusion of blood. He's able to take blood from them for the blood transfusion he needs to give to his elderly bride who is asleep. And the funny part about that, of course, is that one of the women that he takes the blood from is black. And as a result, when he revives his bride, when she comes back to life, she is a black woman. And of course, and so he spends the rest of the movie trying to figure out how to restore her back to what she looked like before she was put into her deep slumber. So, to hilarious effect, right? This is played for laughs. This is just a funny movie, and despite the references to Playboy, Playmates, Playboy magazine, there's really no nudity in this movie. So, or if there was, it's relatively little because I can't remember it. It's been several days now since I watched this, but I don't think there was any nudity or anything really awful as far as, being able to watch with, I don't know, your teenager around or something like that. So it's more stupid than anything and silly. David Niven, he was in What's New Pussycat back in 1965. Teresa Graves, she plays the woman who becomes his bride once she is resurrected, the black woman. And she is great. Teresa Graves is just hooping it up and having a good time. And she is just a party animal. And poor David Niven as Dracula, he's just like, oh, man, you're wearing me out, lady, And so she's just a completely different from what he remembers his wife as being all those centuries ago. He sends a guy named Mark out to try to get proper blood from these other women. And so he's kind of like half vampire, so he's able to bite down and get a little bit of blood from these women to hopefully get the right kind of blood to get his bride back to how she was. And that Mark is played by a guy named Nicky Henson, who he was in Syriana, the 2005 movie by George Clooney. But my favorite character in this movie is Dracula's manservant, played by a guy named Peter Bayliss. And he's just hilarious. Without going into too much detail, you can tell he is allowing himself to just be as crazy as possible in this role as the manservant. And in this particular role, he actually plays the fake Dracula for these tourists that come to the mansion. So he'll go back to the real Dracula, David Niven, and say, "Oh, boss, what do I need to do with, next or whatever?" And he's dressed as Dracula. And so that's kind of his shtick and his game. And he has some funny facial expressions, and he's I don't know how to. It just over the top. He makes the movie fun for me. He was my favorite character in the entire movie. Cinematography for this movie, which was directed by Clive Don. I already mentioned that. Cinematography, I should say, is by Anthony Richmond, who also was the cinematographer for Candyman. And the lone special feature on this Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray is an interview with Anthony Richmond. So that is the extra you get on this disc. Now, something I read online that I will tell you here, which was interesting because the title card on the movie says VAMPIRA, and it was originally released as VAMPIRA, but the film was released theatrically in the United States by AIP in 1975, a year later, under the title Old Dracula. So that's where we get this Old Dracula title. And that was apparently an attempt to cash in on the success of the Mel Brooks movie, the spoof Young Frankenstein. And so often it was played, Old Dracula and Young Frankenstein were on a double bill often in the United States. So that's how a lot of people saw these movies at first. So here's a look at the pad. This is the slipcover, the limited edition slipcover from Vinegar Syndrome. Look at the back, open up, take it out, and look at the package. There's a look at the back. The picture quality on this was great, as usual, as always, from VS. There's the disc itself, and there is some reversible art. And that art looks like the art that's on the back of the slipcover, and the front art is what's on the front of the slipcover. So there you have it. 1974 Vinegar Syndrome release, Old Dracula. So thanks for checking this out, and I will be back soon with another review and some more haul videos coming up really soon. I'll see you then.